I'm Hayley Tamaddon. I'm an actress, I can sing and I can skate. And I'm having tea with Wilma. When I was 16, I went to drama college in London. I went to Lane Theatre Arts, and singing and dancing and prancing around on the stage was all I ever wanted to do. And I had a blast, I loved it. But when I came out of college, I was in this big wide world of, not knowing where to go. I didn't have an agent, and it was a real struggle. Anyway, I went for an open audition for Fame the musical, and with all these other amazing people, and I thought, right, I need to be noticed. I'll go and stand in the front row. Walked right to the very front, stood in the front row, and I was like, you will notice me. And I did my dancing and my singing, and I got it out of all those people. And it was amazing. I played the understudy to 3 female parts for about a year and a half in Fame. Did the West End and toured, and then from then on, I was like, right, that's it. I want to do musical after musical after musical. The next show I did was a show called Boy Band. And it didn't run for very long, but it was in the West End, and I had my own part. And I thought, okay, well, that's the next step up. And I did that for a while. And then I went on to do Mamma Mia, where I had my own part again. And then Boogie Nights, I had an even bigger part. And then they just, they kept coming, and I thought, well, this is brilliant. I am climbing the ladder, and I must be getting better at what I'm doing. And I just absolutely loved being on stage. It was amazing. I'm going to have a drink now. I did the Rocky Horror Show after I'd left Emmerdale. It was the first thing I did. So I did Emmerdale for 2.5 years, and when I was about to leave, I didn't have a job, and I was like, what am I going to do? It was so difficult when you leave a soap. It's so difficult to get another job, because people just see you as that character you played for the 2 years you were there. And I left, and I thought, I'm going to buy a dog. I've got no job. I'm going to buy a puppy, and that will take up some time, So I went and bought my little Aussie, my little dog, and on the day I picked him up, I got a phone call to say, would you like to play the role of Janet in the Rocky Horror on tour for 4 months? And I was like, I've just got a dog. What am I going to do? So I had 2 weeks, and I trained him in 2 weeks, and I took him with me. And I took him on tour, and he became the theatre dog. He came everywhere with me, and he absolutely loved it. Musicals were like huge for me, and I thought that I'd never do telly because I'd got myself not trapped in musicals, but I was doing musicals, and I just thought, well, that's the way my life will go. But I always wanted to be on TV. I always wanted to do television, and act on telly. And I was in a chorus line at the Crucible. That for me was a life-changing show. It was probably the biggest thing I've done. It was the most prestigious thing I've done. And the director, Nikolai Foster, was unbelievable, a dream. And when I went in for my audition, Nikolai was 23-year-old. It was his first show directing on his own. And I went in for my audition, and I sang, and he said, I like you, but you're a bit young. And I went, how old do you want me to be? And he went, well, Diana Morales was 27. I'd say 27. And I went, well, I'm going to be 27 when this show goes on. So give me a chance, And I kind of was that outgoing with him. And he went, do you know what? I'm going to. I want you to come back next week. And I was like, okay. And I went back and I sang and did some more acting. And he offered it me. He said, I'm going to take a chance on you. I really like you. And it really is all about taking a chance on someone. And if you see a bit of a sparkle in somebody in this industry, you should take a chance on them, and that's what he did. And thank you to him, I played that role for 3 months, and the casting director from Emmerdale came to see, and that's how I got that. The Vagina Monologues is a collection of stories written by a lady called Eve Ensler, and what she did is she went around the world gathering stories from different women about their private parts. So she did a whole section on what ladies call their bits. And trust me, there are a whole bunch of names for ladies' bits I'd never heard of. And so that's one section, and then there's another section on if it could talk, what would it talk about? Which is very funny and gets the audience in stitches. But there's also really, really hard-hitting monologues in there from ladies across the world who have suffered abuse, violence, rape, and then there's real comedy ones, like the story of an old lady who hasn't seen a bit since 1932, you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a brilliant night out, not just for the ladies. If you can be daring enough as a guy to come and watch this show, we promise to look after you. Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah, for 5 weeks in Billingham. Billingham is near Middlesbrough. It's kind of a small town, but the pantomime apparently is very good, and it was very good last year. And I've managed to blag. My accommodation is amazing, and I'm so excited about where I'm going to stay. Better not tell you just in case you all turn up there for a cuppa. But yeah, I'll tell you once I'm there, and I'm staying there, and I've been there a while. I'm staying in a really lovely place, which I'm very excited about. I'm excited, it'll be good fun. I need to read the script. I've got a lot of learning to do. Five words. I talk way too much to say it in 5 words. Okay, friendly, loyal, trustworthy, motivated, and determined. Oh, I've got so many more than 5. That's rubbish. I can't bear people that think it's okay to speak loud in an audience. You know, I was watching a show the other day, and there was about 6 people to my right who thought it was okay to have their own conversation, to the point where I then just turned around and went, "Shut up! What are you doing? Be quiet!" And then they opened sweets at the quietest moments of the show, when this poor girl on the stage is trying to sing her heart out, you know, of a really lovely love song, and they're opening sweets. You know, what are you thinking? Don't. In fact, I don't know whether you saw it, I actually put a tweet out saying, if you are not an average theatre goer, if you don't go to theatre a lot, please read my tips. Don't talk. Don't be on your phone texting. It's not the done thing. And don't open sweets in the quietest moments of the show. I went to see Starlight Express in Wimbledon, and they were serving sweets in cups like you do in Woolworths. Do you remember Woolies? You used to get a pick and mix in a bag. That's what they were doing, and it worked. Everyone had a cup of sweets. There was no noise, no one rapping or anything. But yeah, I mean, it really is just general knowledge. You know, if you're going to buy a bag of sweets, just open the wrapper and the applause. You know? Anyway, my rant is over. Oh, okay, well, one, when I was in Spamalot, King Arthur said, his line is, "Well, lady, I can't just call you lady. Do you have a name?" And I say, "Everyone has a name, Arthur." And King Arthur said, "And what is yours?" And I'm supposed to go, "Guinevere." And I went, "My name is..." What's my name? Forgot my name. Could not, it just gone out of my head. And King Arthur's looking at me going... And in the end I went, "Guinevere!" And it just kind of came out, and everybody was laughing. All the knights were laughing on stage. But you know that moment of thinking, I actually could say Shirley right now because I have no idea what my name is. That thought of forgetting the lines on stage, oh my gosh, so frightening. When I was in Emmerdale, on my very first day of filming in the Dingle's house, they told me my direction was to say my line and then run up the stairs of the Dingle's house. And that was it. Well, I'd never been up the stairs in the Dingle's house, so I didn't know what was at the top of the stairs. I thought it was just a normal house, right? So I had a wedding dress on because it's my first day of filming. I'd run away from my own wedding, and I said my line, ran up the stairs and ran straight into a beam, a metal beam, head first. Head-butted this beam, because I just didn't see it. I just thought there was some other floor at the top. And I ran straight into this metal beam, cracked my head open and collapsed, and laid there, and very silently while the rest of the scene was going on, I very silently went, oh, and then just cried, and then just passed out. And that was my first day of filming. I was taken to hospital and had my little thing glued back up, and that was very memorable, yeah. I did forget my lines in Fame once when I was playing the part of Carmen. She sings a song called In LA, and the second verse came along, and to this day I don't know what happened, but I opened my mouth to sing the second verse and nothing happened. I kind of just went, and I thought, in my head I was going, what are the words? And I looked at the MD, and he's trying to mouth the words to me, and I was like, I've got no idea what you're doing. I've got no idea what I'm doing. And to the end, I went, la la la, la 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 la. I just made some la 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 nonsense up. And then I started singing about the stars in LA. I was making up a whole bunch of nonsense. In fact, I don't even know whether I was singing in tune. That's what came out. And I got off stage and I cried. I was only 19 and I cried my eyes out because I was heartbroken that I'd forgotten the words. You know, and then when that happens once, you constantly worry about whether it's going to happen again. I'm that girl that has the dream of being on stage, not knowing what to say. I have that dream a lot. My thoughts on the Kate Middleton thing are leave the girl alone. And if she'd like to go topless on holiday with a boyfriend, then she is more than welcome to go topless on holiday with a boyfriend. And it annoys me that these people have thought it's okay to print them pictures. Just stop now. That's enough. You know, the paparazzi killed the guy's mother, and you don't think he's going to be angry at this? They've got every right to sue. I think it's atrocious. I always wanted to be Roxy in Chicago, and I never got the chance because it's come off, which is really sad. But you never know if it comes back one day. I'd like to have a go at playing Princess Fiona in Shrek. I've seen that, and I really like that part, and I think that would be a good role. Chicago, so I can be in it, please. Thank you. Well, I know a chorus line's coming back, and I daren't ask them if I can audition for the part of Morales, because I'm like nearly 10 years older than the last time I played it. But if I could go back into chorus line, yeah, that would be amazing. I'd like to play the role of Morales again. I'd love to be Verruca Salt in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but apparently they're using kids. I mean, I know I'm small, but I still can't get away with being 12. But yeah, if anything, like, I do a pretty good Verruca Salt impression. And no, I'm not doing it. Daddy, I want a goose. There's a role I'd love to play in Matilda, and it's not Miss Honey, it's the mum, Mrs. Wormwood. I'd love to play that part. It's full of comedy and spunk but again, you know, I'm the same height as Matilda, so I probably would never get that role. I mean, I went to see it, I've got a friend in it, and when I met the Matilda backstage, she was nearly as tall as me. That is such a hard question. I'd like to do one of all of them. I've loved every single one. I can't really choose. I would love to do another night of chorus line, because my part in that, you know, the part of Morales in the stage show of a chorus line has the best song at the end, What I Did for Love, and it pretty much closes the show really. It's a massive number, and she has everyone's attention. And I remember when I did it at the Crucible, I'd see audience members crying when I gave that big speech, and I'd look in the audience and it would make me go, and I'd cry every night. And I've never felt like that doing something before, you know. I just absolutely loved being in Chorus Line. But also Spamalot, just the best show, you know, absolutely amazing show to be part of. We're doing a whole bunch of dates for Vagina Monologues, one-nighters everywhere across the UK. I think I'm even going to Scotland, Ireland. I'm doing crazy places. So yeah, there's loads of dates I'm doing, 5 weeks, and I would love to see you. So come and see me. Talk about ladies' bits. Yay!